The first time I saw the sky split open in a flash of violet light, I knew my life on Dravenfor was about to end. The clouds above the colony shimmered unnaturally, like fractured glass reflecting impossible stars, and then they were gone, swallowed by a shadow that wasn't any cloud I had ever known. My hands shook as I gripped the edge of the platform, and somewhere deep in the industrial sector, a scream echoed, a sound that did not belong to human throats. But that was only the beginning. I had always been small, frail even among my fellow colonists. While others hoisted crates double their weight or ran scavenger patrols through the acid-fogged wastes, I struggled to keep up. They laughed at my thin arms, my hesitant steps, and whispered that I would never survive on a planet that could devour a man in minutes. My only companion was Tycho, a strange bioluminescent creature I had rescued from the garbage pits. A pet most people called a parasite, but to me it was family. I often wondered if anyone would believe that Tycho was more capable than all of us combined. None of us were prepared for the truth. The aliens came without warning. They didn't arrive in ships, at least not the kind we understood. They seemed to unfold from the very atmosphere, coalescing from shimmering particles until they formed towering beings with translucent skin and eyes that glimmered like trapped nebulae. Their champion was grotesque in comparison to the rest, muscle rippling over 6 segmented limbs, claws like blackened steel. The colony gathered, trembling, as they descended into our square, and laughter followed. A cruel hollow sound that seemed to pierce the marrow. They mocked me first. "Human," the alien champion hissed, his voice more felt than heard. "Fragile. Pathetic. Even your pet cannot shield you." Tycho, sensing my fear, shimmered brighter. Its limbs quivered, not with weakness but anticipation. What I saw next changed everything. The champion lunged at me in a blur, claws aimed to strike, and I froze, not out of cowardice but because I knew Tycho would act. And then my pet struck. One moment it was beneath me, quivering with light, and the next, it had wrapped itself around the champion's legs, squeezing with a force that no one could have anticipated. Bones cracked like splintering wood, and the alien screamed a sound that tore the air apart. For a moment the colony fell silent. No one moved. The champion thrashed, trying to pry Tycho off, but the creature's grip was relentless. I could feel the heat of its bioluminescence pulse against my skin, and I realized that everything I had been told about weakness was wrong. It wasn't the frame that mattered. It was the heart inside. The alien retreated. Their laughter turned into snarls, and they whispered threats that the wind carried away before any of us could understand. But that was only the beginning. I had expected reprieve after that encounter, but the aliens were not so easily cowed. Over the next week they watched us, probing the colony with devices that hummed with alien resonance. Every night, strange lights danced across the rooftops, and the air tasted metallic. I kept Tycho close, knowing that our survival rested on its strength and my wits combined. But a creeping doubt gnawed at me. Why target us? Why me? What I saw next changed everything. It was during the 3rd night that I discovered the truth. In the ruins of an old observatory, I stumbled upon a chamber filled with holographic starscapes, maps of unknown galaxies, and archives of species catalogs. The aliens were not here to conquer or destroy. They were here to select. And I was the candidate. The champion wasn't just muscle. It was a test, a final gatekeeper designed to determine if I was worthy of something far greater than mere survival. None of us were prepared for the truth. The revelation came with a price. The aliens demanded that I face the champion again. This time without Tycho's intervention. Fear clawed at me. My limbs shook. My chest burned with the panic of failure. I wasn't built for combat. I wasn't built for this. But as I stepped into the clearing, the champion towered above me, eyes gleaming like stars drawn into a singularity, and I felt Tycho's gaze pierce through the shadows, urging me forward. The fight was brutal, a ballet of desperation and cunning. I ducked, rolled, dodged blows that could cleave steel, and most importantly, I learned to anticipate the champion's logic, its alien instincts. It didn't expect empathy, strategy, or patience. And I used that. Every small movement, every hesitation became my weapon. And when the champion lunged one final time, I leapt aside, tripping it into a pit we had dug for storage bins long ago. The champion fell, screeching, and for the first time I saw fear in its alien eyes. The aliens around me paused, observing silently. The air felt heavy with judgment. Then the alien leader spoke, not to me, but as if to the entire colony. Human, fragile as predicted, but capable. Your bond surpasses all logic. Tycho shimmered, pulsing with pride, and I realized that our connection, something the aliens had dismissed as insignificant, had become the key to survival. The laughter that once mocked me now seemed to echo like a memory from another life. But the victory came with consequences. The aliens demanded allegiance, and the colony faced a choice. Continue as mere scavengers or follow me into something unknown. I looked at the faces of my neighbors, at the ruins of our modest homes, and I made a decision. I would lead them, not with brute strength but with the bond one shared with Tycho, and the lessons I had learned from being underestimated. But that was only the beginning. We traveled with the aliens to their homeworld, a planet suspended in a nebula, glowing with colors Earth had never seen. There, among towering crystalline spires and seas of liquid light, I was introduced to the true purpose of their selection. The aliens were architects, curators of civilizations. They observed worlds, nurturing potential, and when the time came they chose the individuals who could wield their knowledge wisely. And me? I was chosen not because of muscle or might, but because of resilience, compassion, and the ability to see strength in the smallest of beings. Yet, the Alien Council warned me, with power came responsibility, and I understood immediately that their champions, the trials, and the tests were all meant to prepare me for something beyond imagination. A choice that could reshape the destiny of both humans and aliens. What I saw next changed everything. One night, beneath a sky painted with twin moons, I held Tycho close as the council approached. They spoke of wars yet to come, of colonies that would rise and fall, and of a fragile species on Earth whose fate rested in part on my decisions. The weight was immense. My small frame, once mocked, now carried the hopes of two worlds. And I knew that fear, pain, and doubt were tools, shaping me into a leader who could act when logic alone would falter. The final test came silently. The champion, the same creature that had mocked us, knelt, not in submission but in recognition. It was a gesture of respect, alien in its meaning, a declaration that our bond had surpassed the brute measures of strength. Tycho's glow enveloped both of us, and I felt a surge of understanding. Compassion, courage, and loyalty were forces as mighty as any weapon. As we prepared to return to Dravenfor, the colony buzzing with hope, I looked back at the alien world, shimmering and infinite. The lessons were clear. Never underestimate the overlooked, never dismiss the small, and never forget that even in a universe teeming with power, it is the heart that decides destiny. None of us were prepared for the truth. The moment the shuttle lifted, I felt Tycho pulse warmly against me. I whispered, "We did it, buddy. They'll never forget us." And though the stars stretched endlessly before us, I knew they had already seen everything. My life, once defined by weakness, was now a story that would ripple across galaxies. And as Dravenfor's pale horizon shrank beneath us, I realized the final truth. The smallest light can shatter the darkness. The laughter that once mocked me had transformed into a legacy, written not in claws or terror, but in the quiet, undeniable force of loyalty and love. The alien champion would never rise again. But the story of a weak human and his extraordinary pet? That would echo forever. The sky above screamed my name again, but this time it sang with triumph.